I'm talking about in it. You're that girl, but you should know that. You Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is my second video. I actually posted the first video yesterday. It has a few views, so I'm kind of excited about that, even though it's small wins, you know what I mean? But I'm excited. We're gonna be here, we're gonna be decorating my nails. Obviously, I needed to refill my nails. They were like 5 weeks outgrown. Now we're gonna do the design part of it so I can drink at the same time. I love my wine. Everybody knows I love my wine, and I make my shimosa, my version of mimosa, but instead of regular juice, I like to use passion fruit juice because I feel like it just gives a good vibe. So I'm just gonna mix my mimosa and then I'll be back and we're gonna do my nails together while we just chit chat a little bit about my business, about my life, about how I got here and all of that fun stuff. So yeah, let me just mix my drink, make it real strong, make it real good, and I'll be right back. Obviously, we have to just do a light skin mimosa. If you watch Insecure, you know. I think that's good enough. Oh, I think that's good enough. Let me stop this before I spill this. If anybody knows me, they know I'm super clumsy, so they know I spill everything. So let me just put my lamp away before I spill my drink on my lamp. And then I'll be back. This is the inspo that I like, that I'm gonna be using today. I just like the lemon nail mainly, but I have pink nails, so we're gonna do like a pink lemonade vibe. This is Creation Super White. I'm using DC2528, which is just like a light pink. It's called On a Whim. And then I'm also using Blossom Pink from DC as well. I do want to start off by just talking about how I started my business in the first place, how I got here and whatever, because it was kind of so random, like it was so unprovoked. But yeah, so my mom is a hairstylist, so I've always kind of loved the beauty industry. I've always been in her salon. I grew up in her salon, literally. So I was like always surrounded by a bunch of like hairstylists, nail techs, all that stuff. And I would always like decorate my own press-ons, but just like for fun, just for jokes, just for, you know, laughing, whatever. And then in 2021, I started doing my own nails, like just practicing doing my own nails, and like they would always pop off and they looked a mess. And from there, I took a beginner nail course, and then I started learning on TikTok and whatnot. And I feel like that's what really like let me hone in on my skills, because TikTok, well, I don't know how it is really now, but like at the time, TikTok had a really big nail community, and like everybody was always answering questions, going live. So I feel like that's what really like made me become the nail tech that I am today, honestly. And I've always just loved TikTok in general. So I started posting my content of me just doing like my sets as a beginner, and then my friends from work would see my nails and they'd be like, oh girl, like that's actually cute, you know? And my first client was literally a friend from work, and I refilled a set of hers that she had from the nail salon, and they looked good, they looked okay, and she actually got a lot of compliments on them. And I feel like people trusted me from then to do theirs, you know what I mean? So I started getting more girls from work, and like that's how I got my brand ambassador, a good friend of mine now. At the time she was my brand ambassador, and like she would always just let me do whatever I wanted to her nails and whatnot, and I would just practice on friends. And honestly, in the beginning of when I started my nails, like I didn't really get that much encouragement when it came to like doing my own nails, and I would sometimes send my practice nails to like friends of mine, and their reaction would kind of be like a little bit like, oh damn bro, you know, that looks bad. But I didn't really listen to them because I know in my heart that I low-key had potential, you know what I mean? So I knew that. So I always, after that, I took the beginner nail course, I just turned my spam page into a nail page. And literally from then, it's been like momentum ever since then. So I feel like if I didn't do that day, I don't know where I would be, honestly. And if I listened to everybody being like, oh girl, maybe you should practice a little bit longer, I wouldn't be where I am today. And because I knew in my heart that I was ready to start taking clients. Like, even if I wasn't really ready, I felt like I was ready. So I did. And I feel like you should just listen to your heart first and listen to what your soul is telling you to do, and not listen to other people. Because if you do, then you will never be successful as a business owner. And that's real tea. I basically just drew one French. I'm just gonna fill it in real quick. In the beginning of my business, like my setting didn't seem practical. Drink break. But yeah, in the beginning of my nail career, like my setup didn't seem practical. Nothing seemed practical in everybody else's eyes. It didn't make sense that I would want to start a whole business like in my old bedroom, you know what I mean? So I just feel like everybody kind of they didn't see my vision. They kind of seen it as like a little bit of a delusion. And I feel like your business is going to start off to other people as a delusional thing, but to you, it's everything. And to you, you know that like you might genuinely have a passion for something, and other people from the outside, they're not really going to see it unless you make them. So I feel like you have to almost force people to like feel like you're worth it. You know what I mean? Because in the beginning, they're not going to really think you're worth it. Like in the beginning, when I first made my nail page or turned my spam page into my nail page, I got some unfollows, which it was like, okay, when I'm posting funny content, you like it. But then now that I actually want to start something and whatever, you don't want to be a part of it. Cool. That's fine. But just use that momentum, use that doubt that people are putting into you as a catalyst rather than something that's just going to shut you down. Because literally, if you talk to other people who are not business owners, who are not goal oriented about something that you want to do, of course they're going to be like, oh girl, maybe you shouldn't, because it's a risk. And to other people, risks are scary, and risks are the only thing that's going to allow you to grow. And I felt like at the time when I just started out of nowhere, I felt like it was almost like God was calling me to do this. And I did it through my nursing school, even though it was hard as hell. I had like 3 jobs and I was doing nails. It was like overwhelming, but I just had so much love for nails. Like I just felt like it gave me something that I never had before, and it gave me a sense of belonging, and it gave me a sense of purpose that I feel like nobody could understand. So why am I going to listen to them if they don't understand like anything about my business or anything about what it feels like to not belong, what it feels like to feel out of place all the time? And then finally you have something that is like yours, and you set the boundaries and you set the rules, and it's like, it's literally yours. So it's just like an amazing thing. And obviously people who don't think like that are not going to get it. So it's like, why are you trying to explain yourself, girl? Why are you trying to like, yeah, pitch yourself and whatever. It was cool that I slid into all those people's DMs and whatever, but at the end of the day, like some of them left me on read, some of them left me undelivered, some of them just liked the message, which is also cool. But you can just see that they didn't see the vision at the time. But fast forward 3 years later, I get some bookings from some people who left me on red at a time, or who discounted me at a time and didn't think that I was worth it, didn't think that my prices were worth it. But people are only really gonna feel like you're worthwhile when they see other people supporting you. And I was just talking about this with my cousin, who also is a business owner, and just business is running my family, honestly. So I feel like I can kind of talk to my family about this type of stuff because they're goal oriented and business minded as well. But we were just having a conversation about how people like will ask you, so are you getting a part-time job? When this is my job. Like I went to school and I have other, avenues, but this is a career. This can be a career. This can be a job. I can take this for as far as my dreams could ever imagine. But again, people are not going to see that, especially if they're not goal oriented how you are. So I just feel like I actually want to read something from this girl whose book that I found on TikTok, and I feel like I just love everything that she has to say. I just feel like it makes complete sense, like being a business owner. So I'm going to read this. Success is rooted in adaptability. When the odds seem stacked against you, the ability to adjust is crucial. When others have also discounted you, or counted you out. Power is not just about victories, it's equally about setbacks. Many assume that attaining a position of influence is solely a result of achievements and triumphs. However, those who navigate such spaces quickly learn that losses often outnumber wins. Clock it. What separates those who rise to the top is their ability to leverage setbacks. I feel like in my second year as a nail tech, this is literally what my whole entire second year as a nail tech was about. It was just about like, I had so many things going on. I don't think anybody could ever like grasp the concept of what the fuck I had going on. But I felt like I had to take that and I had to make something of it, because if I let myself just wallow in what I was going through, I feel like I would have just sunk. And especially just like trying to graduate nursing school, trying to like make my family proud, trying to make my clients like make sure they're satisfied, just trying to like do everything else, like dealing with all these emotions, all these different feelings, feeling like I still am like underrated, and just all these feelings that I was dealing with. I'm like, you know what? There was a day that I was with one of my clinical supervisors, and I really, really loved this lady, honestly. She was great. She just was like, I was in the bathroom, I was so stressed out, and she's just like, girl, like, I literally used to be you, but I got through it, and I know you can too. And I feel like after she said that, I really took that and I really ran with it, because I couldn't just let myself just wallow in everything that was going on, because I would just still be in the same position crying. So I just feel like you have to leverage everything that you're going through. You have to leverage people discounting you, and leverage the fact that, you know, there's gonna be people who are not gonna see your vision and are not gonna understand that you're that girl. But you should know that. You need to know that you're that girl, or else, like, how are you gonna try to be convincing other people if you don't even know yourself? Clock it. So I just feel like that's such an important part about owning a business. What next? How can I use this? How am I gonna, like, how can I, like, you know, it's not like you need to convince people that you're worth it, but like, you kind of do if you want them as clients. So it's just like, how can I take their doubt and turn it into the most the most convicted they've been in their entire life, like convinced in their entire life. So I truly feel like that's what being a business owner is all about. And I feel like being a business owner is all about having thick skin. And sometimes people are going to say things to you that are not so nice. Sometimes people are going to say things to you that are not true, because they don't even really know who you are as a person. All they know is about your business. So if, like, you have a client that doesn't like a rule that you've set, even though they agree to the rule, then it's like, then they're going to turn that and they're going to make it about a personal thing. Like, they just don't like you, when it really, in actuality, it's nothing about you. It's just the fact that they didn't like the fact that you stand on business. So it's just like, you have to keep standing on business, and you have to keep having thick skin. Like, the other day, I had this girl, oh my gosh, like, the girl was fine up until she said this comment, and it just threw me all the way off. It threw my energy for a loop. But then I looked at her face, and I seen like the green in her eyes, like of envy. And I seen how she was projecting, and I seen how whatever she felt about herself, she literally was saying it about me. And she doesn't even know me. That's like her first time meeting me. So it's just like crazy too. Also, people are going to make assumptions about you. People are going to say things like I said, that are not true, because they just don't know. And what people don't know is good. It's better that people don't know what you have going on until it's done. So that's how things usually go. But I just feel like you have to learn that, like I said, not everybody's gonna like you. There's gonna be people who have a problem with you for absolutely no reason. Sometimes it's personal. Like, in their eyes, it's personal because they think something of you that is absolutely not true. And just in general, you have to be like, get over your fear of being perceived. Like, a fear of being perceived and being a business owner does not mix, bro. It literally does not mix, because it'll just hold you back, because people are going to perceive you as whatever, regardless of however you try to control the narrative of how you want people to look at you. People are going to think whatever they're going to think. And if you spend your whole life trying to convince them of something that, or a certain way that you are, you're going to be so tired, honestly, because I want everybody to think that I'm so nice, I'm so this, I do good nails and whatever. But guaranteed, there's people out there that don't think I do good nails. There's people out there that don't think I'm nice. And that's fine, because I know that I am nice, and I know that I do good nails. So it's like, those are not clients for me. Those are not my target audience. And they really don't have a place to judge you, unless, like, they're getting a service from you and they don't like the service. Then they can judge the service, and you can take that and, like I said, use that as a catalyst to be like, okay, what can I do next? So I also wanted to talk about, like, just building your niche as a nail tech, finding the right clientele for you, finding the right people for you. And also, I did all my French tip on this hand anyway. Drink break. This is not like the best morning type of cocktail, or a sangria. I love me a sangria down. I'm talking about in it. if there's a sangria, I'm talking about in it. I'm in that shit. I love me a sangria. Like, I had the sangria the other day. Wow, it was absolutely amazing. I still have dreams about it. So I did my both French tips. Now we're gonna do the lemon part, which is, I'm so excited for. So basically, I'm gonna use like a darker pink to do like an outline, and then I'm gonna go in with a white and do like another outline. And then I'm gonna go and do the lines and do the 3D part. And then I think on the French tip, I wanna add like a 3D lines. You know, I don't know if you guys know, but I love me some 3D lines down. Like, if I'm doing a freestyle, I don't know, more times, like, there's gonna be a 3D lines inside the freestyle. I'm not gonna lie to you. I just wanted to talk about too how I built my clientele, and like, I think I touched on it a little bit, but I want to touch on it a little bit more, because I feel like that's like something that deters a lot of people from starting a service or starting a business, is like worrying that you're not gonna have clients. But you are your number one client, because if you can do like I don't know if I got paint in my hair, but if you can do a service then you can do the service on yourself. I don't know about lashes, but definitely with nails, you can do the service on yourself, and that's a great way to advertise. And having my nails done often and being a cashier, I would just slip a little card inside their bag after I cashed them out, and I'd just be like, yeah girl, I do nails, you know, every time they would compliment my nails, because I used to wear my nails really, really long and crazy, so it drew a lot of attention. And that's honestly why I wore them that long, because I felt like it just drawed people's eyes right into it and they couldn't help themselves but look. So I highly recommend, like, if you can do the service on yourself, or if you can just like brand it just by wearing it every day, I definitely recommend that, because people love to see your work outside of your nail room. I feel like it's low-key goated when you see a nail tech that can do both her hands, you know that she can eat down. So I feel like that's a great way to advertise. And if you do lashes or something like that, or something where you can't do it on yourself, I highly recommend like maybe do like strip lashes and wear them out. Like, people will compliment your lashes, or you can just make that leap to just be like, hey girl, you like my lashes? I do them, and give them your card. Or you can find another beginner knit lash tech that you can trade services, so you guys can use each other for content. There's honestly so much you could do. You can even do like a group chat with all like different service providers who are beginners, and you guys all support each other, boost each other's content. I recommend, recently I just did a thing where I went out and I gave my business cards, like low-key I felt so like that to approach people, and like some people turned me away, but rejection exposure, honestly, it's gonna just toughen you up, because like hearing no, and I didn't even get to spit a word out of my mouth before they're just like, we're not interested. So I was like, okay bitch, like fine, don't be interested. I highly recommend to go out and like meet people, tell them you do a service. You have to low-key be extroverted sometimes, like owning a business. I feel like I'm not saying I'm an introvert or an extrovert, I don't know what I am, but in high school I was like a little bit of both. I was like the middle ground, where I would always see like introverts, and I would invite them to lunch because I seen that they were eating alone. So it's like I kind of got used to over time just like talking to people and like putting myself out there, because if you don't, and you run a business, you don't put yourself out there, nobody's gonna know who you are. And that's like the biggest thing that I feel like will hold you back, because even though I'm 3 years in, I feel like I should have way more followers. And even like if I get new clients and stuff, they're just like, well, I'm shocked that you're not more expensive, I'm shocked that you don't have more followers or whatever. And like, I agree girl, but putting yourself out there, posting like content that's very personal, or content that's like always of your face, again going back to the fear of being perceived, which I definitely have a little bit, it's just like but it's like low-key you have to do it. And like the way content is looking now these days, if you don't post content of your face or of just like you behind the scenes or whatever, it will hold you back 100%. And I think that this like month alone in May, I'm gonna experiment just posting more like funny content, more content of my face, more content of me talking, and just experiment and see how it works. Because I see like a lot of nail techs or hairstylists talk about it being like, oh, if you only have pictures of your work on your page, like you're not doing the right thing, because only pictures of your page, like, yeah, you may attract some clients, but you're not going to attract brand deals. You're not going to attract people who want to learn from you. You're not going to attract none of that. You're just going to attract, yeah, you're just going to attract some clients, you know what I mean? But it's not going to bring you the mass amount of exposure that you're looking for, girl. So you have to post, you have to get over your fear of being perceived, get over the fear of people not liking what you're posting, or like all of that stuff, or it getting like 10 likes, because I've had posts that got 0 likes. I've had posts that got 0 views or like 30 views after I put in like 2 hours of editing. So it's like low-key some of that is inevitable, because there was a time where I was getting thousands of views averaging on my TikToks, and then it just goes like up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. So if you just solely were like, oh, my last video only got 30 likes, I'm not posting another one of my face, girl, it's not because you posted that type of content, it's the right people are not seeing it. So you have to post yourself. You have to post what you're doing behind the scenes. Like, people want to know, people are nosy, they want to know everything. So just post, girl. You have to post. Like, I'm trying to post, I'm trying to get into that this year, so we'll see how it goes. And I'll definitely keep you guys updated on like the journey of trying to post like every other day or whatever. Obviously I have more time on my hands ever since I graduated, so I have time to post a little bit more, but definitely I'm gonna try to like up my posting, up my engagement type of thing, like with my comments and all that stuff, and see how it goes, because I know that that's the content people want to see these days. They don't want to just see you just like painting nails. Like, they get bored, you know? So you have to engage your audience, and yeah, cheers to that. I just oiled up my cuticles. These are my nails. I'm gonna do a close-up too, and this is the shimmy ring that I got from the last haul. And if you like this video, comment a heart emoji, comment a pink heart emoji, and that's how I know you made it to the end of the video. And I love you so much. If you did, I don't even know who's watching, but just know I love you. Just know you're loved. And comment if you have any questions for the next video, and I'll love to answer them. Love you guys so much. Bye.